Thank you so much. Thanks to the organizers for inviting me here. And I'm Nivedita. I would be sharing the examples of WHH on nutrition smart communities. But before we go to the nutrition smart communities, I would actually like to share the reason why we are talking about community mobilization and undernutrition as an integral part of food systems. So I would like to maybe start by sharing some recent data from the Global Hunger Index, which came out recently on 10th of October. And according to the GHI statistics, India ranks 105 out of 127 countries, which is considered as serious. The child wasting rate is 18.7%, and India has one of the highest child wasting rates globally. The child stunting rate is 35.5. The prevalence of undernourishment is 13.7%, and the under 5 mortality rate is 2.9%. So we can see that India is at an unenviable position when it comes to nutrition, to food, to hunger. And we see that the child malnutrition rates and the child malnutrition is very closely connected to maternal health and to maternal undernutrition, which also speaks highly about the intergenerational malnutrition. And that is why we are talking about food systems and the systems approach, the community-based approach to food systems. So when we're talking about community-based approach, the first thing we should talk about is local food systems. Are we talking about local food systems, or are we talking about imposed ideas of nutrition or on supplementation, or are we talking about local biodiversity, local traditions, local knowledge, local capacities, women's empowerment, local institutions, and a bottom-up approach? Or are we talking about, big multinationals, global ideas, or solutions which come from outside? I mean, that is why we are talking so much about local food systems and not just food systems. And while the government initiatives provide a very strong framework, they provide the resources, what is completely undeniable is that unless we have community-based and community-led approaches, there will not be a high rate of success when it comes to tackling malnutrition or food insecurity. And when we talk about local food systems and community-based solutions, community-led solutions, then we talk about local ownership, local long-term sustainability, empowerment, and a lot of other things which we all know from experience. I don't have to elaborate on that, because I think we are all working closely on community-led approaches, and we are going to hear about them today. So let me share a little bit about Welltunga Hilfe's nutrition smart communities and what are they. So why we call them nutrition smart communities is because this approach has been designed to demonstrate the impact of the interlinkages between different sectors like agriculture, NRM, livelihoods, and how these relate to sustainable reduction in undernutrition. And we are saying they are nutrition smart because families are, why? So they are nutrition smart because they're talking and the families are aware about the first 1,000 days window of opportunities. The families are aware of the linkages between agriculture, NRM, WASH, livelihoods, and education with nutrition. Every woman in the reproductive age group has a minimum diet diversity. Every child receives home-cooked balanced diet with appropriate frequency and consistency. And village communities and committees and organizations have access to government entitlements and programs. No, not yet, I mean, I'll go on to the slide. Families grow and buy safe, seasonal, and locally produced food. So it's important that we talk about food safety, food health, whether the food is ecologically produced or it is coming from 1,000 miles somewhere, or if the children are having Pepsi or Kurkure, or that's what they are inclined towards. The community values uncultivated foods and traditional recipes. Every family has access to safe drinking water, because without safe drinking water, there can be no nutrition. And every family maintains safe sanitation and hand washing practices, So this is why we are calling them nutrition smart communities. I'll just share a little bit about what they are. Oops, I think I switched it on. Okay. Yeah, so Welthungelfe, so long before the term food systems became very current, Welthungelfe has been working on the systems approach, and we believe that without strong, sustainable farming systems, there can be no long-term solutions to hunger, poverty, and malnutrition. We have been talking about the systems approaches and how the different components in a system are related to each other. The Nutrition Smart Community is our, it's an initiative which has developed over a few years, and we have identified 5 evidence-based interventions. The first is called the Sustainable Integrated Farming Systems, which itself is a systems-based approach. The second is the participatory learning and action for nutrition education. And I will go into the details in a short while. The third component is the nutrition camps. The fourth is strengthening institutions and accessing government schemes. And the fifth is nutrition-sensitive micro-planning, integrating it with the GPTP. The first one is sustainable integrated farming systems. I think most of us are aware that integrated farming systems, where we integrate different components, whether it's poultry or horticulture or beekeeping and animal keeping, livestock with agriculture, then we have not only a larger biodiversity, agrobiodiversity, but this also directly translates to a greater diet diversity when it comes to households. And this is the principle of the sustainable integrated farming systems. We work with the farmers very closely on this approach. And this approach is completely participatory. We have participatory and learning action cycles, where first of all, we assess the resources which are available locally with the farmers, at the household level, at the community level. What are the natural resources that are available? What are the capacities of the farmers? And they go on to develop farm plans and then larger community-based plans, And this also keeps in mind the local indigenous biodiversity, the local traditions, what have been the practices, what is the knowledge that is there in the community. And the capacity development is done through farmer field schools, which is peer farmer-based interactions, field schools, learning schools. And also the monitoring is done by the farmers and by the communities themselves. So this whole process, we have laid down in this book, which you can see in the right, where which is again a cycle of experiential learning modules on how communities can go step by step towards the integrated farming systems approach. We also integrate the nutrition gardens to grow 10 food groups based on multi-subsystems. So this again talks about multi-layered farming, incorporating poultry, livestock, recycling, circular economy, on-farm production of bio inputs. So everything that we talk about when we talk about ecological farming. So we strongly promote ecological farming. I mean, we believe that foods that are laden with chemicals or adulterants are not food, you know, and they're not, that's not nutrition. Yeah, the second element of the Nutrition Smart Community approach is nutrition education through participatory learning and action cycles. And this is a series of meetings that we conduct with the Anganwadi workers or the community resource persons, the supervisors, and this is a series of trainings on the whole approach, integrated approach, which we call LAN, Linking Agriculture, NRM, with Nutrition, LANN. So the LAN-based PLAs take the, these communities are taken through the LAN cycles. It's a series of cycles, and they are modules which are first conducted with the Anganwadi supervisors who become trainers. Then these trainings are staggered, and then the Anganwadi workers go through the trainings because they are there long term with the communities, and they are the ones who are the real influencers on nutrition and on health within the communities. These Anganwadi workers in turn conduct regular meeting cycles with the women, and the modules that we have laid down include a lot of learning, fun-based pedagogies, using cards, some of which you can see here, you know, using cards, using games, role plays, picture cards. And the curriculum is spread over, the meetings are actually weekly meetings, or they can be staggered over 10 days. These meetings are conducted by the Anganwadi workers with the communities, where they discuss all the underlying and the basic causes related to malnutrition, and the methodologies on which they can, how they can improve, you know. This integrates agriculture, NRM, WASH, IYCF, child feeding practices, local practices, recipes, demonstrations, uncultivated foods, wild foods. Yeah, so this is like all about the undernutrition causes, life cycle approaches, dietary diversity, complementary feeding, seasonal food calendars, cooking demonstrations, and gender inclusive approaches. So these are the cycles, experiential learning cycles, which the communities go through. And in practice, we have actually tied up with governments across several states, MP, Maharashtra being examples, where about 7,000 Anganwadi workers have been trained in MP, about 3,000 in Maharashtra, and work is still on. We have similar programs in Jharkhand, and we have a large resource pool and modules. Can you make this, please? Yeah. Yeah, so you see in the pictures some of the Anganwadi workers conducting the learning cycles with the village communities. So these learning sessions are conducted with the women of the community, and also on you know, with the larger villages comprising of the men, the adolescent girls and boys as well, so that to make it all inclusive. We have also trained the community resource persons in the APCNF program on the nutrition outcomes, because the APCNF program was focusing on agroecology, on organic production, but to round it off, they needed sessions on nutrition, and this was contextualized using the LAN PLA cycles with 14 cycles and 5 modules spread over an interval of 2 to 3 months. You know, usually they are spread over 1 year when we have larger programs, but the shorter versions can also be 2 to 3 months. And the CRPs conducted meetings in the villages with mentoring and hand-holding support from WHH. The third practice is the nutrition camps, which is based on the positive deviance approach. It talks about social behavior change communication, and it relies heavily on promoting local foods, millets, local processing, encouraging also women self-help groups to produce local foods, especially millets, and that's to the local millets, not the millets which are grown in some other part of the country. And as a result, empowering communities. So these nutrition camps are also conducted regularly, and each camp continues for a certain number of days depending on the resources available. And this is in tie-up with the government authorities, with the Anganwadi workers. And here, I mean, the women go through learning sessions, again, experiential learning sessions. And these nutrition camps have turned out to be a big instrument for bringing about mobilization at the village level, because everybody gets to know about these camps, and also they include women, the men as well. It's not just focused on bringing the women, but also bringing in the men. And the fourth element is about nutrition-sensitive micro-planning, building institutions, and accessing government programs. And here we're talking about strengthening the CBOs, where the communities undertake village mapping, household level planning, and they do an analysis of the households which have undernutrition or malnourished SAM or MAM children. It also undertakes village level resource mapping, preparation of village micro plans, and then approval of these plans by the Gram Sabha and their integration into the GPDPs, through which they have access to government programs. Yeah, so the resources that have been generated include tools which are such as land. I mean, I just mentioned linking agriculture, NRM, and nutrition, sustainable integrated farming systems. We have the modules for all of these. These are all learning modules developed by communities, by experts, and the nutrition education or the PLA tools. We have a lot of cards, flip charts, a lot of training material, a trainer resource pool. You can see these trainers here in the picture below, and experience in MP, Jharkhand, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, and also globally. So now this approach is going to other countries, to Nepal, Bangladesh, Africa also, and it's because it's proving so successful. Yeah, this is the story of a village, Patan, which is a nutrition smart community. You can see this video on YouTube. If you just go to the link, you'll see how the communities took ownership and they also led this whole process of change. Yeah, I think because I'm not going into the details through the video, but that was it from me on community-based and community-led approaches on addressing malnutrition. Thank you.